Hello, I'm Pascal Brakman, and I would like to demonstrate how you can make thematic routes on RouteYou. As an example, I'm going to take an example of pilgrimage. I would like to make a thematic route related to a pilgrimage path or paths in the southwest of England, as an example. But you will see that you can make many alternatives or other thematic routes. How can you do that? Well, just in this example, I'm going to show you how you can make use of routes of others to help you to make your own thematic example. I'm going to select planner routes. So that's the planner here on top. I'm going to create one. I could also upload an existing route, but that's not the case in this moment. I'm going to create a route with the route planner. This is the route planner. It shows me the area. As I said, I would like to go in the southeast, I think, of England. Yes, in the area of Canterbury. I want to go from A to B to C. That's what I want to do. So I'm not going to make an immediate round trip. With this option, I have more control, as you will see that we will need that. I'm going to select that I want to walk. So I'm going to select as routing option hiking nicest or hiking shortest. I'm going to take in this part shortest, and I will explain you later on why that might be easier. I would like to start in Canterbury, where you have, of course, the great cathedral. So I'm going to start there, but I have no clue in which direction I would like to go for my thematic route. So I want some help, and I'm going to select in the map layers. I have a few options. One is open walk map. I'm going to come back to that later on. I'm just going to stick to the general RouteYou map in this case. And I want to select specific routes as a background. And these routes we call reference routes. I select routes, and the system tells me now, yeah, which routes would you like to have? So now I can select further, and I can select the route type and say, well, I only want walking routes in this case. I can be more specific and say I want hiking routes, Nordic walking, but I'm going to stick to general walking routes. That's fine. I can select keywords, but I don't have a clue which keywords I should use for what I want to do, nor do I know the author. I can increase the score a little bit and say, well, I only want top quality from 2 to 5 or from 3 to 5. I'm going to stick to 2 to 5 as a score. And I'm going to select as the theme, not a characteristic, but as a theme, I know there is a theme pilgrimage. Have a look at all the possible themes which we have already to get inspired and make your own thematic routes. So here somewhere at the P, there should be pilgrimage. Yes. So this is a collection of routes people have made for doing a pilgrimage. I'm going to be a bit less selective and say, well, give me all the possible routes related to the pilgrimage area. Or let's zoom out. And here I get now my lists of all possible routes which fulfill that criteria. This is just nothing more than a reference. I'm going to click them all. So I see in my area, I have already a few options. So I'm going to continue planning. So now I see there's a pilgrimage route in the yellow direction, the green direction. So what I would like to do is I will believe and follow the yellow one for a part. I took hiking shortest. So this brings me from this place, for instance, to this place along the shortest path. You see the shortest path follows the green. I can stick to that and say, yeah, I don't mind the green, or I can move it and say, no, specifically follow that yellow line. So now he's following for a big part the yellow line. You see already it deviates a bit. If you say, no, I really want to stick to that yellow line, just keep on moving if you want that. But we all sometimes you prefer maybe an alternative. I'm going to keep on clicking. And you see it, I go to Chilham. Now I'm going to switch to the green one. So I just want to go to that green part and say, well, follow now that green line. You see it deviates there. It could be that in the meantime, these roads are blocked because we are updating the map. I'm going to trust it and say, well, fine, just follow that road. From there, I'm going to follow the green line. You see you have a small detour here because obviously there's no good connection there. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and say, yes, I follow the path you suggest me here. So you see, you have all the possibility to follow or not to follow. The reference routes are just an indication where you would like to go. From there, I don't want to follow any line anymore. I want to go to a specific village I know. So I'm going to click there. And from there, I want to go back to Canterbury. And I'm going to make it a bit nicer. Yeah, so I'm going to stick there to the that line. From there, I don't want to shortest, but I want to help I want the system to help me and say, well, select me the nicest one. If I do that, the system asks me, would you like to apply that to your previous parts, to the full route, or would you just like to do this for the next modifications? I'm happy with my first part, so I'm going to do the next modifications. And I'm just going to say, well, close the loop, go back to my starting point. I could just click there too, but there's a nice handy button here, return to starting point, and there you go. So the system helps me to say, well, this is a nice route. There's a whole story why we prefer these routes. It's indicated, we prefer, of course, roads which have not a lot of traffic, which are unpaved in this case, and I'm happy with it. So I'm going to save my route, and I'm going to call it my my own pilgrimage loop from Canterbury. I can indicate what type of walking route it is. It's 30 kilometers, so you could say, well, it's more a recreational walking route, or no, this is a real hiking route. So indicate what you prefer there. I can also give a bit of a better explanation. Sorry, you missed that. Yeah, I can here give a better explanation about the route. So that's nice that you describe a little bit more what's going on there. I somehow see that my title has changed, Canterbury Pilgrimage Route. Remove a bit the typos. And I can keep it public or private. I think I want to keep it public. It looks a nice route. I want to share it with the others. So I'm going to save the route. So now I have I have a track which follows partly some other tracks and partly things I did on my own. So it's my thematic pilgrimage route. I also would like to indicate for the others that this theme is related to a pilgrimage. So how can I do that? Well, in the edit button, the pencil here, it allows you to classify the route and say, well, what kind of characteristics are there? And I can indicate that it's, for instance, adventurous. It's probably not, so I don't know yet. The system detects already that it's loop-shaped, that there's low traffic on most of the parts of the route, that there's a public transport accessibility, probably if I get from Canterbury there. So you can also indicate other characteristics if you like. I specifically want to indicate that it's a thematic route related to pilgrimage. The system detects already you go through a lot of nature. I can deselect it if I say, no, this is not so much about nature. This is more about the pilgrimage. Where are you? P, yeah, here's pilgrimage. So now I indicated that the route has as a theme pilgrimage. It has no points of interest yet, so I would like to add points of interest. So the first thing I'm going to do is add places of interest. I can just say, well, I don't care which types of points of interest I want. It's 30, this should be 300 meters maximum from the route. I'm going to take the ones of myself, but also of others. Here, obviously, you can select. The filter allows you to say, well, I don't want any type of points of interest. I want it with a specific theme. And we know already a theme we like in this case, that's pilgrimage. So here I'm going to indicate is like, please add points of interest which are related to the pilgrimage. Probably there are not that many. I see there's already a great one here, which is of course Canterbury Cathedral, which is obviously related to pilgrimages. So that's a bit weak for my route. I would also like to add some more. So I can keep on doing this and add places of interest of your own interests. So I think what's nice is that we also add some history. I'm going to click this off. So I don't want to replace the first ones because I'm happy with the cathedral already. I would like to add another 30. And now I think related to pilgrimage history is also a good one to add to my story. So I'm going to confirm. So now I'm going to add historical points of interest along the route if there's points of interest available. And I see only the ones we have in Canterbury are there available. So I'm happy already with this. I'm just going to add a few others, add places of interest and say, well, keep all the ones you have. But now in general, I'm not going to select anything. They should be 300 meters away from the route maximum. I'm going to take a kilometer. By the way, you can also switch to miles if you would like to do that in your settings. And here you see now I get a lot more. Maybe that's too much. So how do you go back? Well, one of the things is you can click here and say, well, this point of interest is way too far. I already indicated how far I wanted them, but I changed my mind and I want to remove this. You can simply remove this by removing this. So your route is specifically linked to these points of interest in this case. Again, same story. This is too far from my route. Maybe somehow I say, well, this is nice. It's maybe far from the route, but I'm going to keep it as part of the route. This is also interesting. So, or not interesting, remove it. Another option to do that is here you have to click one by one on the map. There's all the places of interest of your routes are also available here. Here's your Canterbury Cathedral, your Roman Museum, the King's School, and so on. So you can go one by one, and also in this list, you can say, well, I don't like this piece of information, I just remove it. You don't remove it from RouteYou, but you remove it specifically from your route. And this is then a very quick way to clean up your route with the specific information you like. I'm going to remove also this hospital. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm happy with my route, with the information along that route. I can also print that. What's great to do is to print a guide because all that interesting information you now selected, removed, and added, you can download here. So I'm just going to show you the result. It's a print, a PDF, which you of course can print or send to friends to say, well, this is the route we're going to do with our theme of pilgrimage. You will see the first page gives you the title, the person who created this. If you're an organization, your banner will appear. These are some pictures from along the route. This is your complete route. It's not suitable to walk the route completely, but it's good as an indicator. We're going to talk about item 7, 8, 13 on the map. This is the height profile. So we change a bit altitude, as you can see here. And this is all the information you get along that route. For instance, in this place, it's about 2.8 kilometers from the start. It's number 5 on the map. And this is the story which we have from there. In another webinar or tutorial, we will show you how you can create your own points of interest, because now you only select the points of interest which exist already from the system. In another one tutorial, we will show you how you can create your own points of interest. But this is how you can create your own thematic route based on reference route. Have fun with it.